For a tech channel, this guy sure doesn't know what he's talking about. At least that's what the people say. But we're gonna revisit an old classic that I dumped on in a previous video and see if it deserves a second chance. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Yes, we've already talked about the Neewer CM28 Wireless mic system. And at a price of around $130, it certainly might be an attractive choice for many up and coming YouTubers and or vloggers who really need good audio quality at a price that won't break the bank. And that's what I thought too when I reviewed this exact mic system recently on this channel. So what brings us back here today? I'm sure you're wondering, just as I am. Well, it turns out in the last video, I may or may not have had the noise cancellation turned on for the bulk of the audio test part of the video. And it was an unfair comparison to say that this is junk, even though I stand by my statement that it's really seemed junky. So, will this newfound information change my opinion of how good this mic system is? We're gonna have to find out. And to find out, I had to buy another one. So I bought another one. You see, I got rid of the last kit because I don't have room here for stuff that doesn't work. So if it's not working, I'm not keeping it around. So we got another one. Brand new from Amazon. So at any point in this video, if you're like, hey, you know what, this doesn't sound too bad, I think I might want that, I will put a link in the description where you can grab one as well. But let's start out with a quick unboxing, and then I'm going to tell you the high-level features that I really was excited about that made me want this in the first place. Gams Go. Are you paying too much for Netflix, Spotify, Disney+, Crunchyroll, Duolingo, Canva, or Adobe? Gams Go has you covered with premium shared subscriptions for a fraction of the price directly from the distributor. Yes, Gams Go is the shared premium experience that you've been looking for that saves a ton of money. I personally use Gams Go for my Netflix, my Spotify, my Disney+, and my Crunchyroll subscriptions, and I have saved tons of money by switching to Gams Go. This is truly an amazing deal. You don't want to miss it. Click the link down below to grab your deal. Just kind of peeling some of the plastic off. Like that. That goes over there. That goes like that. So as you can see, this kit comes with a lot of stuff. Starting off with, we got the one that has the lavalier mic kit. It's only a couple dollars extra, and the lav mics, it's what I use. As you can tell, I'm using a lav mic right now. What am I using right now? Well, I will cover this when we get into the microphone quality part of the video, because I want to compare against what I'm using currently to see if this is even a worthy upgrade. So we'll cover that shortly. There's a lot of cords here. So USB-C cord, another USB-C cord. One thing that I do remember is one of these is not a data transfer USB-C cord. So this one right here, it says Type-C data cable on there. And then this one, does it have a note? It doesn't have a note. So this one is power only. It's used for recharging the case here, but not for data transfer. I'm confused about why they would do that, because it doesn't save them a lot of money. And this can create a lot of problems when somebody's trying to use this module here to collect audio data on their laptop or recording device through the USB-C. It's concerning that they still do that. It does come with a camera cable, and that has, it's a TRS to TRS. So if you're trying to use this with a cell phone, you're not gonna be able to use the TRS cable, possibly because most phones use the TRRS, if you can even find a phone that still has a headphone jack. It does have these though, which are USB-C adapters and USB-C to Lightning adapters. And what that would be used for is you can attach this. I'm not sure exactly how this is supposed to go. You go like that, and then this is my Galaxy S24. I can plug this in like that, and then this will actually capture the audio from both of these devices onto my cell phone using audio recording software. receiver. If you had an iPhone, then you would use this cable, which lets us plug this in, and then we can plug this into an iPhone or an iPad or anything that has a lightning connector to record the audio directly onto the phone. So it's nice that they include those, and they fit, as you saw already, inside this case, so that you always have them there with you. Now, I'm not planning to do any recording onto my cell phone, but if you are, this package definitely has that capability. There is a massive instruction manual, which I didn't read last time, and that's why I had the noise canceling on by accident. Looking at the device itself, it's really small. It does have a clip on here, and there's even, I don't know why there's a magnet there. Oh, that's actually really cool. So you can clip this on your shirt like that, and then you look like that weird guy who's got this thing clipped on your shirt, especially when you open up these guys, the little dead cat fuzzy things. And this is, you know, if you're filming outside, you definitely want one of these. So these clip onto here somehow, like that. So when you've got this clipped on your shirt, you've got this giant fuzzy thing on your neck, and it's kind of weird. So this magnet piece on here, you can go like this and clip it on your shirt from behind. Now, I didn't even notice that had it before. I don't want to cover up my gears and tech though. So I can hang it on the middle. I don't know if that's very flattering either. Oh, you gotta be careful because you might drop the magnet. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna take the dead cat off for this. There is a USB-C charge port on the side of this guy, and on the other side there's a power button and a mode selector on the top. This is the business end for me. So it's got the microphone, which this will record just like this. You can hold it like this and be like your favorite YouTuber or TikToker, but there's also this connector here that will accept a lavalier mic. So you can stick this in your pocket, have the lavalier mic clipped onto your shirt. So it works like a typical mic setup. Now, there's two of these, and then there's one receiver. Now, the beauty of this is this will communicate wirelessly from the microphone to this base, and this base will record stereo tracks. So stay with me here, because this is one of the features that was really important for me in a microphone, was the fail safes. So I can have microphone A record to the main device, and microphone B also record to the main device. It records this as a right channel and a left channel separately, so that in post, you can take just this channel or just this channel or merge both channels depending on what your needs are. Now, why would you need that? Quite simply, if you've got one guy mic'd up and you've got another guy mic'd up, and this guy wanders away a little bit and starts blabbing with somebody and he doesn't realize it, you can cut that mic off and then focus on just your main subject and have their mic boost to both ears in post. And then when it's time for both of them to be talking at the same time, you can adjust their audio levels independently. The advantages of having a separate channel for each is just outstanding. It boosts your experience to a whole nother level, or at least your capabilities to a whole nother level. If you don't need that separate channel option, you also have the option to record in mono, if that's what you want, but you also have the option to record from one microphone to two tracks on here. One track will be the audio settings that you set, and one will be the backup audio option. So it will record at 6 dB lower than whatever the main track audio is. So if for some reason you were getting clipping or the volume was too high for whatever reason, you could use the backup track for your post-production and then boost the audio as needed to make it fit the sound profile that you're looking for without having to go back and reshoot. So it has a wide range of options. But the biggest advantage of something like this is you can use this as a standalone microphone. You don't even need this base at all. And this will record to a 4 gigabyte internal storage on this device. So you can have this one recording all by itself and this one recording also all by itself. You collect both of them, pull the files off of each, and you have an exclusive individual file. So you have the main wireless transmitter file, but if for some reason you wandered out of range or you had just some sort of transmission issues with electrical interference or anything, you always have a backup track on here. That is huge when you're looking at a wireless mic system. And if you're looking at any other wireless mic system, I encourage you to find one that has some sort of built-in audio track so that you don't have to worry or stress about the distance away from the receiver, especially if you're shooting outdoors or if you're shooting in environments where electrical interference could be an issue. Now, if you insist on doing wireless transmission, it does support up to 200 meters, which is 656 feet of wireless transmission. Obviously, that's like at the ocean, direct line of sight. As soon as you introduce cars, people, buildings, or anything like that, your wireless range will deplete quickly, and that's where that backup track comes in very, very handy. Now, a couple points to cover real quick before we get into the actual mic test. Battery life. So the battery life on one of these guys will last you about 8 hours. The receiver is going to last you about 10 hours. But if you're using this cord that we showed you already, it does support pass-through capabilities. So you can actually plug a USB-C cord in the front, which will recharge this receiver at the same time as using the receiver. So this battery won't die in that circumstance, but you do still have to consider the microphone as well. There is a battery built into this case though. So you can see it's got 4 battery indicators. When I open it up, it shows that I've got 3 lights on. And as soon as I drop this in, it starts charging as like right away. So you can drop these in here. They have a magnetic base to them and it will recharge everything while it's just sitting here. So for the guy who's on the go, who's not near power all the time, this will make sure that your mics are charged up fully and they're ready to go for the longest battery life possible. And the battery charge in here has enough juice to recharge the entire mic system 2 times. So you can start with it charged, you can deplete it, recharge it once, deplete it again, recharge it again, and get 3 full uses out of this before you have to put it back on a power source of some sort and recharge it. For those of you that are more than just a one-man show, the receiver also has on the side here a headphone jack. So you can actually plug headphones in and hear live feedback of the audio from both microphones. So if you have a sound engineer who's involved in the recording of your video, they can have headphones on, they can have this on their phone recording and get all the audio, all the video, hear how good the audio is while you guys are out doing your thing. Now, for me, I'm not that kind of setup, so I'm not going to be monitoring, but it is a very handy way to keep track of the audio recording to make sure that it's the best that it can be. This also supports 3 times simultaneous recording. And it does that through the USB-C port here, which you can plug directly into your computer. You can plug it directly into your phone and record straight onto those devices. It also has the headphone jack out, which you could run into a line in on a separate device if you needed. And it also has audio out. That's what this cord is going to be used for. And it's going to plug into those guys that have a DSLR setup, or in my case, I'm using an Insta360 Ace Pro with the external mic mod that this is going to plug into. I might try it as plugging directly into USB-C to see if that works. I'm not sure if it does. I don't expect it to, but if it doesn't, then I know that this will definitely work and it'll be hanging on in my studio, capturing all the audio straight onto the camera. But as I said, I will have that backup audio track just in case something bad happened. And that's why I really, really, really wanted this setup to work for me, and it didn't. And that's where my last video, I said, you know, as much as I want this to work, I can't recommend it because the audio is so bad. And that brings me to the audio that we're using right now. So up until this point, I've been using the standard audio that I use in pretty much all my videos for the last few years. And for those asking what it is, well, this is it right here. This is a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. It is one of the last phones that actually had a headphone jack built in. I'm using the standard Android app to record the audio, and you can see the waveform going up and down. And then I just have this lavalier mic, which runs under my shirt and up to plug this thing back in. It sounds pretty good. The phone is actually, you know, the battery lasts plenty of time. I'm at 99% battery. I have it in airplane mode so I don't get pesky alerts or anything. And quite honestly, that's all this phone does. It just records audio. When I'm not using it, it's just sitting right over there on my desk, being charged, ready to go. Now, if I'm being honest, I think that the audio from this setup sounds pretty good, and I've been relentlessly trying to find a suitable alternative that sounds at least as good as what we've got right now. I've even used my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and used those adapters that plug into the USB-C port to give you a microphone input, and it just doesn't sound good. good. I've tried cheap ones, I've tried expensive ones, I've tried cheap ones of these, I've even tried more expensive ones of these. I'm looking at you, Comica, the $300 option, which we reviewed on this channel. It was no good. I just didn't like it. I couldn't get the clear audio that I liked from this lavalier mic. Now, many of you guys have decided at this point, this guy knows what he's talking about, or this guy has no idea what he's talking about. So if you like the audio that I've had so far, then you know if you can trust my opinion on what good sounds like or what bad sounds like. And if you don't like the audio I've had so far from this setup, then maybe I'm not the person that you want to look for when you're trying to find a reputable person to suggest what microphone is best for you. I'm going to assume that you're still here because you think that the audio sounds good. You want to hear how this sounds. So I'm going to hook this up. We've been here before. I'm going to make sure that we don't have the noise cancellation on. I'm going to clip this on. I'm going to keep both going. I'm going to plug this into here like that. And I'm going to use this because I want to get as much audio as possible on this. So I'm going to use the live recording. Now, I have fully set this up and I'm going to walk you through what I've done for the setup so that you know exactly the parameters that we've created, and we'll try a couple different scenarios. First off, we have the Neewer handheld device. Now, the important thing is last time we were in the settings like this. When you have both blue lights on like that and then you start recording like this, and you have a blinky blue light like that, that means that the noise canceling is on. We don't want it on because it didn't sound good last time. So we turn that off, and then when I hit record, I should get a red blinky light. That means that there is no noise cancellation being applied. But I don't want to record yet because I'm going to show you this guy. Now this guy is currently set up in the safety track mode that we talked about before. So you can see track 1 is going crazy with that audio meter. Track 2, not quite so crazy. I am connected through USB to my computer. My computer is using OBS to record, and you're not gonna be able to see it right now, but I'm gonna have my editor show it up on screen. You can see the left track is going slightly higher in decibels than the right track. And that's because we have the safety track turned on. So I'm getting both tracks on here, and we will be able to use both tracks throughout this video to show you exactly what we're talking about. Now, the first thing I want to point out is, even though this one's not currently recording, I am getting a live output to my OBS software. I haven't even hit record. I didn't need to hit record because it has that live feedback. So if you're using recording software, you will get the audio track to that software. If you're using this on a cell phone, it's the exact same thing. It's just I'm using a computer. You can record just like you saw me doing on that audio app to your cell phone if you're looking at more of a compact solution. Obviously, I'm doing a studio environment, so I have room to play a little bit more. I can certainly do a different video that shows you the run and gun, point and shoot, no hassle solution that puts it all on board to your phone. But for the purpose of this video, I want to explore kind of this kind of environment. So I'm going to hold down the record button. Now this is actually recording. So I am getting a track recorded on here to the onboard recording of this. I'm also getting both tracks recorded onto this device. So this has internal storage as well. It is recording the left channel at full volume and the right channel at -6 dB from the full channel. But I also have my OBS software recording both tracks onto the computer, so I have a ton of audio files. Now currently, my editor is going absolutely nuts trying to keep track of which audio is which. Through this most recent part of the video, we've actually already been cycling between the original setup that I had that you saw with the Galaxy S10, the newer setup using the onboard recording, which is the backup recording. So if for some reason the wireless transmission failed, this onboard recording is the one that's going to bail you out of a jam of having really bad audio. And we also have the wireless transmitter, which again is currently broadcasting through OBS and being recorded in both places. So you can hear all three different setups to decide which one is best for you. But just for fun, we're going to do a side by side comparison of the exact same audio so that you get the best example.
A few minutes later.
So this is a test of the audio for this microphone system. I'm most interested in the high pitch, like the S's. Do the S's sound really clear? Does the volume peak out, especially when I'm making P sounds and I'm saying peaking? Does it peak out or does it sound nice and clear? So this is a test of the audio for this microphone system. I'm most interested in the high pitch, like the S's. Do the S's sound really clear? Does the volume peak out, especially when I'm making P sounds and I'm saying peaking? Does it peak out or does it sound nice and clear? So this is a test of the audio for this microphone system. I'm most interested in the high pitch, like the S's. Do the S's sound really clear? Does the volume peak out, especially when I'm making P sounds and I'm saying peaking? Does it peak out or does it sound nice and clear? The audio from my regular recording system has kind of a good tone balance to it that I don't have to spend a lot of time fixing up. So, does my current mic sound good? You guys decide. The audio from my regular recording system has kind of a good tone balance to it that I don't have to spend a lot of time fixing up. So, does my current mic sound good? You guys decide. The audio from my regular recording system has kind of a good tone balance to it that I don't have to spend a lot of time fixing up. So, does my current mic sound good? You guys decide. Now we have a ton of data for you to decide if it sounds as good as what we hoped for. There is one other test that I want to try, which is the onboard audio on here without the lavalier mic, because keep in mind, this is going to be my back pocket and then I'm going to run this lav mic, which is fine. That's how I intend to use it. But many people, it's becoming more socially acceptable to have this ridiculously big fat thing hanging on your shirt and nobody thinks anything of it. So we do need to test that scenario. So I'm going to stop recording.
One eternity later.
Now, just for fun, I ditched the lavalier mic. I'm using just the onboard mic that's on here. I'm not sure if it sounds the same because the quality of the mic in the lapel mic could be better or it could be worse. So this will give you a good example of what it sounds like if you're not using the add-on lavalier mic. You can certainly buy a more expensive lavalier mic if you don't like the quality, but if the mic through this doesn't sound good, well then the whole thing doesn't sound good. So this is where we're going to put it on you guys to decide. Now, confession time. I've done some testing off camera. I've reviewed the footage that I just got to see if it sounds as good or not as good. And I have to say, I think the people were right. I really did want this to work, and it turns out it works pretty good. Now, I want to know your opinion though. Do you think that this sounds good enough to become the daily driver mic for this setup, for Gears and Tech, and potentially for your setup? Or do you still think that my Galaxy S10 with my tried and true lavalier mic is still kind of a little bit better solution? Let me know in the comments, because I will actually use that feedback to decide if that's the way I want to go. I have a few other things. I'm going to get crazy with this. I have a few other options that I want to set up on here. So it's really important for me to try different scenarios just to see which one works the best. But I'm really excited about where I can go with this. So I really hope that you guys like how it sounds so that I can keep using it. Again, if you do like this setup, I'll post a link down below for this microphone setup. I'll also put everything that I use for my current studio setup. If you want to see what it looks like, I've done other videos showing you exactly what my setup is, but I will put links to what my setup is as well, so you can just pick up all the items and emulate exactly what you're seeing right here. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.